My Hero Academia first hit the pages of Shonen Jump in 2014, but I had a crazy idea. What if this show had come out years before? What if it had come out so long ago that they had made an old 80s arcade game of it? So let's do that. Let's talk about what if My Hero Academia had an 80s arcade game. But before we get into this, I want you to know that I'm doing a giveaway for My Hero Academia Funko Pop. If you are chosen, you will have a choice of a pre-selected group of Funko Pops to choose from. In order to get into this drawing, you need to do a few things. First, you must be subscribed. Second, you must comment below. 3 is very important, and that's to share this in a link on your social media. And I'm adding a 4th one. I need you to click on the link in the description below and like the new My Hero My Life Facebook page. But that's it. That's all you have to do to be entered into this month's giveaway. There is one last thing I do want to add before we get into the video. For every 50 subscribers that we add to the channel during this giveaway, I will draw an extra winner for this giveaway. So help the channel out and make sure you get your other My Hero Academia loving friends to subscribe. With that being said, let's do this. Now, to be fair, I didn't grow up in the glory days of the American arcade. They were almost all dead by the time I was born, but I really do appreciate the concept and nostalgic appeal that these machines have on people. Heck, if I was rich, I would open my own retro arcade, but I'm not. But I definitely do love the look and the feel of arcade machines. There's just something special about them. From the cool artwork plastered all over them to the joysticks and the buttons, I just love them. So what if My Hero Academia had been released so far back that they had made an 80s arcade machine of it? There are so many routes that you could go with this, but I have one idea that has stuck out most to me that I want to share with you today. What if the game was similar to the old game known as Gauntlet? In Gauntlet, you play as either a warrior, wizard, Valkyrie, or an elf. You battle your way through level after level as monsters spawn and try to defeat you. There's no true end to this game. It's designed so that you can just keep pumping quarters into the machine. Gauntlet has a real Dungeons & Dragons vibe. I've been told that Gauntlet was actually a ripoff of a different game that was inspired by D&D. So my thoughts for a My Hero Academia 80s arcade game would be that you would play as one of 4 Class 1A characters as you play through different levels trying to save different hostages. In each level, multiple bad guys will spawn and try to defeat you. I could even see there being different puzzles that you have to figure out to save different hostages. I imagine this machine having a joystick and 2 buttons for each player. Of course, the joystick would have you move around. One of the buttons is for a physical melee attack, and the other one is to use your character's unique quirk. Maybe there's a bar for your quirk. The higher the bar is, the more you can use of your quirk. In order to get your bar to go higher, you need to find food in different levels. I think it's important to note that I see this game still feeling like My Hero Academia and not have a fantasy theme. I know Horikoshi has made several fantasy-themed pictures of Class 1A, but I still want to keep the superhero theme. Another thing that I want to note is that in the 80s arcade games, they were limited on what they could do. Because of that, most games rarely had more than 4 characters to choose from. In this, it wouldn't be all of Class 1A. Instead, it would just be a selected 4 from Class 1A. When it comes to the 4 different characters that you could play, I see there being 3 different possible sets that this game could have. You may have a different opinion, so feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. The first is basing the game's roster off of popular characters. When basing it off of popularity, I came up with Deku, Uraraka, Todoroki, and Bakugo. Your favorite character may not be on this list, but these were based on the popularity polls found in Shonen Jump. When you use Deku's quirk, it would give him a large strength buff for his melee attack, but his health would start to slowly decrease while using it. Uraraka's quirk would make adjacent enemies blink for a short period of time. These enemies can no longer attack or be attacked while blinking. Todoroki's quirk is a line attack where he would, hurt enemies in a straight line. The first time you use it, the attack looks red. The second time you use it, it would look blue. It would go back and forth as you use the quirk button. Bakugo's quirk is a small explosion in front of him, damaging all enemies that are hit by it. The second way we could come up with the game's roster is basing the set of characters that have the best quirks for the game's mechanics. In this case, we would keep Todoroki and Bakugo with the same quirks that we just mentioned, but now we would add Kaminari and Aoyama. For Kaminari's quirk, his would be the strongest of the four. He would produce electricity all around him and would be an instant kill for many enemies, but then Kaminari would be stunned for a bit. For Aoyama, his quirk would be simple. It would be a beam that shoots in a line. You may notice for this category, all quirks here had some sort of range. None of these attacks relied on buffs or things that slowed down enemies. It was all about quirks being a ranged attack. The last way we could look at the character roster is basing it off of the classes of the original Gauntlet. The classes were Warrior, Wizard, Valkyrie, and Elf. Besides there being different looks and different attacks, there were some specific differences between the four. The Warrior was the strongest in hand-to-hand combat. The Wizard was the most powerful magic user. The Valkyrie had the best armor, and the Elf was the fastest in movement. So who would be best for hand-to-hand combat? Well, I think that's Deku. When it comes to powerful magic, I think of Uraraka. I know she doesn't use real magic, but the way her quirk works in this game, I think it's a good fit. Now, we need someone that would have the best armor or defense, and that brings me to the character that we haven't used yet, Kirishima. Besides him having a high defense, his quirk would be a temporary invulnerability. When using his quirk, he would start to blink, and no attacks would hurt him. And finally, we need someone to fit the speed aspect of classes. And who would be better than Ida? Ida would be the fastest one on the roster, and his quirk would be a straight line dash attack. So that's 3 different rosters. And again, I bet there are other things that you could base it off of. So if you have a different idea, feel free to comment them in the comments below. Now for the rest of the game, in the original Gauntlet, there really wasn't bosses. So for this, I think it should be the same way. Because again, at this point in the anime, there really isn't many actual villains that the students fought on their own. So let's just say that there is no bosses throughout this game. But with that being said, in Gauntlet, death would follow you around. What if Kirigiri would open a warp gate randomly in different levels? And then Shigaraki would just chase you down, and you would have to try to avoid him. Whenever he reached you, your life would quickly start being drained. The only way you could stop Shigaraki is by using your quirk or getting to the next level. Now, to be honest, the idea of seeing Shigaraki chasing you around levels is kind of goofy. But what 80s arcade game didn't have a little goofiness? That was just part of the era. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. What do you guys think of an 80s My Hero Academia arcade game would be like? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Today I based it off of the game Gauntlet, but if there's any game that you want me to base a My Hero Academia game off of, make sure that you comment that below so maybe I can do that in the future. With that being said, thanks for watching. Don't forget the giveaway, subscribe, comment, share, and like the My Hero My Life Facebook page, and we will see you guys next time.